shit, everybody. Hello and welcome to another episode of Canadian Talk. We are here again. We're doing it again. What a week. We were. I went on somebody else's podcast show for the first time ever. It was the Ben Bankas show. He is a fucking tremendous comedian here in Canada, honestly. The only comedian really spitting real game out there right now. That fucking sounds stupid. I'm going to stop using slang. He is the only comedian who's really pushing the envelope out there today. He had the best takes on COVID and so we've been friends because, of course, naturally I reached out to this guy because he's an impressive person. That's the type of people we get on this show. I reached out to him and way back in the day, and he came on the show last year. This year he was on another tour, and I was like, hey, come on through. And he shacked up in one of my properties there, and oh man, we had a week together, I tell you. It was a good. Good fucking times, man. What a tremendous guy. Like, now that I've gotten to know the guy, it's amazing, his discipline, honestly, I might fucking quit drinking after meeting this guy. Every day wanted to go to the gym. Doesn't even drink. Like, sometimes he'll do a shot before he goes on stage or whatever, and sometimes he'll drink a beer on stage if somebody gets it for him. But I was like, I thought this guy was a drinker. Not at all. Just fucking razor sharp. And so that was just so impressive. That was probably the overarching thing that was impressive to me from the whole getting to know this fella. But yeah, I'm happy to say that me and I have a new friend in podcasting, and holy shit! So go check out that episode. It turned out pretty good. And oh man, just exciting in general, I tell you. So I did his show, and it turned out pretty good. We were a good team, surprisingly enough. Like, we had good banter. It was like, it kind of reminded me of Bert and Tom a little bit. Where he is sort of like Bert and I was kind of like Tom, or Matt and Shane, where he was sort of like Matt and I was sort of like Shane. I mean, I hate to take the Shane one in that analogy because Shane is the better comedian, some would say, than Matt. But, not everything has to line up, okay? Just in the sense of the podcasting style, that was sort of how it came out, because Shane is more of a quiet podcaster. So, but, yeah, what an incredible week. I got to... So basically, yeah, like, he needed a place to stay in town. He's on his tour, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's make some fucking hot casts. And he was like, I don't see why not. And so we did it, and it went good. I'm very excited. There's still another episode to come. So episode 71, hopefully, of my show, if he's able to have some free time on his tour and send me the audio file. Episode 71, so the one after this one, will be me and him again. Another good hour and a half of us chatting. That first one that was put up, like, if you've seen that other episode, it's on through his channel, and eventually I might post it on mine too. But that was honestly probably the weaker hour of all of our podcasting. So get ready for some good shit. And there's lots of funny clips coming out and everything like that too. I'm super excited for that. So, God, we should have had you on mic today. It's kind of a little annoying because I want to talk to you, but I can't, because the moment you start talking, nobody can hear you. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even really ask you questions, or it's low points in the pod. So I'll talk more about it, okay? Ben's going to be listening to this, and he's going to go, Jesus, he'll cringe because I'm talking about him too much. But so I decided to, like, stay on the property that he was staying at. Like, there's a big shop in the back that has, like, a stove, and he was chirping me throughout his podcast about staying in this shop. But honestly, I loved it. Like it was super comfy. It's got a wood burning stove. Obviously, this is the same shop right here that I stayed in. So um, it's insulated. I mean, what is there to complain about? It's the same as a house. It just has a concrete floor. I mean, what's the problem with that? There's no problem. So yeah, concrete floors are fancy. They just need to be heated, I suppose, or they're real cold. Like yeah. And it would be nice if it was flat. Oh, so what else? Oh, I brought my phone here. Okay, let's see what else we got going on. Oh man, let's just talk about inside baseball for a little moment. Thanks to all of the new listeners who are here now. The subscribers fucking doubled. Like they went up by 40 or 50 on every platform, and I'm getting new followers every day since the Ben Bankas show. So thank you to all you guys for following the show. I hope I'm going to make more good content for you. This is just going to be a good old podcast. And it's not going anywhere. So if you hitch your wagon to this, you don't expect there to be a dry Wednesday, because I am not giving up anytime soon. Your Wednesdays will be filled with my voice. So what else we got going on here? Let's look at the list and see if we got any current event skis. Oh, geez. That Alex Galchenyuk, his DUI video. So basically, if you haven't seen it yet, Alex Galchenyuk is a Russian hockey player. He plays in the NHL and recently was released. And so he's back in Russia. And then when he was in Russia, I guess he went out one night and did a little drinking, did a little partying, and he ended up in the back of a cop car. And that means he's on video. And he was saying some wild shit. He was like telling the guy, one phone call and I will end your entire bloodline. Like saying that he's going to send a fucking hit. He's in a cop car and he's saying he's going to send out a hitman on a cop. Like that, for an average person, like I'm amazed. He's not going to go to jail or anything, but for an average person, making threats like that to a cop, I'm pretty sure would end you up in jail for a while. Like, and he just got away with it. So, kind of weird. I mean, you know what I just decided too? I just decided that in a minute here we're going to take a break and we are going to get you on mic. So, that video was pretty wild, and I just want to say I wish the best to that fella there. I mean, I'm not going to say that I haven't. So this is where the comedy starts, right? I'm not going to say that I haven't had thoughts like the words he was saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's weird about when people do stuff like that, is it's hard to be like, oh no, I have never thought I hated a person so much. I was like, I want to kill you or kill your whole family. Sorry? It's intrusive thoughts. So, and if you're an honest person, you have to realize that those thoughts are there. They exist. Because, 500 years ago, there is a decent chance that somebody who I'm related to killed somebody. 200 years ago, probably. Or even closer. Who knows? I wonder how close in my lineage was the most recent murder. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think any uncles or grandpas or like that have killed anybody, of course, or any women in the family. I don't think they've killed anybody. But I wonder if like my great grandpa or my great great grandpa have ever killed anybody. Yeah, I wonder about that. That's interesting to know.
I don't think
You know?
tell.
I wonder if they'd have that on ancestry.com.
What if they own like, because your family in Newcastle, right?
Yes, back in England, I used to have a good lineage, so I've been told, and we lost it all. Thanks to this stuff right here. No, thanks to we came to Canada, and it's bleak. It's hard to, when you imagine the downgrade, living in the UK and then coming to Canada and living in PEI. You would have been like, what the fuck did I do? PEI gets 60 feet of snow a year. Every year you are buried by snow. It doesn't get that cold, but I mean, it's either snowing or raining there at all times. So, yeah, I can imagine that was pretty depressing for, you know, they were like, hey, I understand rain, but like, because imagine in the UK, it rains a lot in the UK, I think.
That's where the murders came in. PEI. Right? Depressed. Snow. Right?
Oh, who's murdering? Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe they started killing people in PEI. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and they had their luxury.
Yep. So anyway, I wish the best to Alex Galchenyuk. I tell you, brother, I feel you, but you can't be doing that in a cop car. You've got to stop yourself. You got to have a little bit of contextual awareness.
Journaling's a thing.
Journal. Yeah, just have a journal in your back pocket. Just, fuck you, I would have fucking...
Make little mini movies in your mind, whatever gets you.
Yeah, do the mini movies. Just stick to a mini movie, Alex. Just chill a little bit on the words, okay? All right. So, what else do we got here? My list for this episode literally says Ben Bankas and Alex Galchenyuk. So that's all we have, people, for the list on today. We're going to take a little quick break, and maybe we're going to get ourselves back here with a producer actually on mic. And so thanks for tuning in so far. Thank you to Bush Beer for making cheap beer down there in America. And thanks to Great Western. Thanks to the Canadian government for allowing me to carve out such a wonderful life in your country. That's why we've named this Canadian Talk, because at the end of the day, you may think, if you're a fucking government person watching this right now, you may think that we are a right-leaning podcast, but we are not. We love you. Don't audit us. Don't pass the UBI bill, please. That's going to fucking screw everything up. Or maybe it'll send houses even more. Maybe UBI would be good because then houses will go up even more. But then that'll cause a fucking bubble. We can't have UBI. Maybe, Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in a second. So, folks, this is a podcast. We are so thankful that you're here. We have been getting some good interviews lately. And it will continue. But what I want you to know is that ultimately this show is going to be this. So guests are one thing, but I'm just happy that you're here because what I want to do is not just talk to fucking crazy guys out there who are like writing one-liner jokes or crazy guys who are like cultural influencers. Like I think that Ben is that, honestly, because he talks about such important stuff. He is like the opposite of... Well, it's pretty easy to find opposites of Rick, though, because he is like a specific thing, and basically any comedian who tells a story is like the opposite of... So anyway, but in terms of the content too, because Rick, I guess if you think about it, Rick doesn't really tackle any heavy-hitting topics. He is kind of just like, women, they look at me, they think I have a small penis, but I do not. Like, it's kind of like stuff like that.
Yeah, he mainly talks about himself.
Talks about himself and just kind of aesthetic and appearance and basic stuff. Not like, not like whatever, Israel, Palestine, or the homelessness crisis. He is not talking about the homelessness crisis.
Yeah.
He's not talking about COVID.
Thank
But,
God.
So yeah, we've been getting some good guests on, and we are so happy about that. But we're mostly just happy that you're here, and we hope that we can form a community where we can talk. And honestly, I want to see more comments out of the people that watch the show. Like, don't be afraid to comment. This is not out of reach. Just comment, ask us questions, tell us what you want us to talk about. It's totally fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You can call me a colonizing racist, and you're not going to hurt my feelings. We welcome your comments. So go ahead and do that. I've been watching the Adam Friedland show a lot. It's really creeping into my repertoire for... Is that the right word? Repertoire? Of podcasts that I watch? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's been creeping in there. That show is so funny, and I'm not really sure I understand why. And it's kind of what I'm trying to create here.
Yeah.
But like, the question is am I as good as him? Because it's tough, because you watch Adam and Nick, and it's like they have something that it seems like they're not doing anything special, but they are. Mm-hmm. They are. And I want to figure out how to do that, or So, yes. So, back to it. We have a new episode out with Ben. Go check that out if you haven't done that yet. You will laugh. You will shit bricks. And the episode that's coming out next Wednesday, it will be out on his Patreon this coming Thursday. So if you want to see it ahead of time, audio only, it will be on Ben Bankas' Patreon on Thursday, is what I've been informed of. So you can go check that out. Also, I'm just going to keep promoting this guy because he did so much for us coming on the show and putting me on his show. He is on tour right now in BC. So if you're watching this right now and you don't have tickets for any of the shows up there, I think a lot of them are sold out, but BC, and he may have canceled Edmonton, but he's also going to Edmonton, I think, after he does 4 or 5 shows in BC. But anyway, I might be too late on that too, because I think that if this comes out on Wednesday is like the 20-something. Wednesday is one day. No,
22nd.
This is too late to plug his shows. You're too late. The shows are sold out. I'm sorry.
Oh, you just go on his website.
Yeah, on his website.
It's really nice.
Yeah, there will be more shows. I know he's doing a show back in Ontario when he gets back there. So
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Very fun guy to podcast with. Amazing guy to watch on stage. I tell you, I learned a lot from him while he was here. And I think he learned a lot from me. Just in terms of health and fitness, that's pretty much all he learned from me. But yeah, he taught me a lot about I guess acting and
Nice.
comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Motivation even, because he's a very motivated guy. You know, it's I don't know how he's able. I don't know how a person's able to do that. I'm not there yet anyway.
No.
But to travel to a city, and if you've ever traveled, the mode that you're in when you travel, how do you get up on stage and be like, "Hey guys, fucking, how's it going?"
I don't know.
You want to just go and sleep. You know?
I think it's exciting. You probably get an adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline rush, you think?
before- Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, it's amazing to me, and I admire it. So
No.
anyway, but yeah, what else? I mean,
Did you went to Coors Event Center with him? You
so
were
we went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I went to the show with him that he had here in Saskatoon, and it was a real cool venue. It's called the Coors Event Center, and I got to go in there and frickin' get him up on stage, and I got to hang out in the green room, and I got to hang out with them before the show, and it was so cool. What a cool place! Just hallways, and then you go down 40 stairs to this deep ass basement. Roofs leaking everywhere. It literally smells like sewage.
Oh,
but then
no.
there's this back room in the back. It's so quiet and so cool. There's vents. If you are walking around in there, and I think that this is what most green rooms are like, because they have to be hidden, right?
Mm-hmm.
But oh my god, I loved it. There was signatures of all the different bands on the walls, all the different comedians that have been there. I'm pretty sure I saw Jim Jeffries' signature on there.
No.
And
Cool.
so that was pretty cool. And there was a bathroom in there. There was a fridge. I imagine he has a writer where he asked for some stuff, but there was 5 Red Bulls, 5 Aquafinas, and a bunch of MGDs.
Yeah.
So, but I think he said he could only had the choice between 2 beers. It was either MGD or Coors Light.
Really?
So I was like, MGD, good choice, over Coors Light. You know.
If you were to go to a venue and had a green room is the space where comedians
Yeah.
go to hang out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What would be because let's say you can have an odd request. Let's say you have a bowl of only red M&Ms. What would be your...
Well, there would have to be beer, of course. So I would need at
Yeah.
least 6 to 10 beer like what he had, which is
Yeah.
sick.
Would you have it at a certain temperature, though?
I'd probably want some seeds, probably some
Yeah.
sunflower seeds in
Yeah.
case I'm hungry before the thing. Or pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
So that would be probably my weird one. Is I like seeds more than the
Seeds.
average person. So that'd be my weird one, is some seeds. Excuse me, jeez. We have a windy day right now. You can't hear it in the studio here, but there is fucking wind right now. It is so windy out. But beautiful day. This light is coming through. I'm hoping that it doesn't wash me out too bad on this camera, but should be fine. So, yeah, we spent some time in this green room, and man, we had the nerves before a show. It's interesting to be around performers and stuff pre-show and stuff like that, because they're in their comedy mode, so they're like laughing and they're kind of like listening, but they're also very nervous. So it's kind of like weird, you know? But that energy was very fun to be around, especially because I didn't have to do anything. I could just sit there and just enjoy it, take freaking shits, and I used the bathroom.
You took a shit in the bathroom?
Yes, but only after we went up. Yeah.
That's unlike you. You usually have
Just in the morning.
Yeah.
I know. But there was a shower in the green room.
Did you shower
I did not shower, but I wanted to.
Yeah, you should have. You should have just went wild.
Yeah, it was a cool little bathroom and cool green room. And oh my God, the nerves when you go through that door that takes you from the back to where everybody is, and they're like, "We're ready for you." The nerves when that lady's looking at you and she's like, "Are you ready?" And you're like, "No."
No.
But yes. You know, what an amazing feeling. What an amazing feeling. And Coors Event Center, too, is particularly crazy to be the first time I ever am involved in something like this because of how it's set up. Like, it's set up, like, very good. It's set up just like the Vulcan in Texas there, because it's got the 2 levels that are literally right on top of the stage, basically. But it just, as a newbie, it makes you feel so intimidated. Oh my God. Yeah. Terrifying. So... but yeah, I just I hung around and I watched the shows. So the opener was Sean Cuthand. He did okay. You know, and then I basically just, it was kind of cool because I got to watch I bought tickets anyway, but I got to watch. Ben was like, "You didn't have to buy tickets." I was like, "Yeah."
No, gotta support the dude.
I will anyway. Yeah, but there was an abandoned bar off to the side in the Coors Event Center. That's such a cool place. And I just kind of basically paced back and forth back there. And there was these big pillars I could sneak through and just kind of look and watch. Yeah. And just paced nervously and watched their 2 sets. And, geez, this might be a boring podcast for the average person. A little bit niche. God, what else is going on? Tell me what else is going on in the world. Anything?
In the world? Dang, I don't know.
I've got a few of my friends are like, obviously because I've been doing this now for 4 years, it's been quite the ride. But a few of my friends now are wanting to get into it as well.
Oh, the podcast.
Like not just my friends that I've made on the podcast, or friends that are my like professors or people I meet through my life now. Old friends. I have a couple of old friends who are thinking about getting into this. And I am so like humbled by it. Like I'm humbled by it. That's the only way I could put it, like with how I feel about it. I'm so happy that like people I know and care about like see the value in it and like want to do it themselves. You know? Inspiration. I feel like I've inspired people. That's what it feels like. You know? So yeah. What else? I'm hoping to do some commentary for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies hockey team this year. Just working out some kinks on that. That should be pretty fun. But yeah, we're entering into winter now. The cold is coming. How do you feel about that? Do you like the cold?
I'm starting to like it a little more this year, I think, because I'm finally with someone who wants to do things outside. Who is not afraid to push me out the door.
Push you out the door?
Yeah, just like, let's go. Don't be a stick in the mud. I have a different pair of skates this year. I usually wear hockey skates, but now I have a girly set of figure skates, which I'm pumped about.
Nice. What happened to your hockey skates? Back at home somewhere?
Well, I was moving out of the
Sell 'em?
townhouse. And
You leave them?
I left
you
them.
Abandoned them.
Abandoned
your
them.
boots.
Yeah.
You abandoned your fucking knife boots.
Yeah.
God.
I know. Sin.
Yeah, that's a sin worthy of a zin.
Yeah.
You better put one in.
That
all rhymed. Holy shit. Easy now.
They were in rough shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad you got it. You're gonna have a fun winter then, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm planning to do lots of skiing this winter. Yeah. Do you like skiing? Did we talk about this already on a different app?
I think so.
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do lots of skiing. God, what else? I mean, I'm really hoping this winter. I'm hoping to do a lot of fucking carpentry. I know that that's weird, but like, I just love. Now that I'm not building structures. I took a year off building structures. I'm done with the two that I just built.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like, I'm jonesing for wood. That sounds horrible. But like, I just want to smash apart some.
Do you drink IPAs if you're joking? For
I think so.
yeah.
So I want to smash apart pallets, which I love to do. It's one of my favorite hobbies, is just smashing things apart and then getting something out of it. Like, I don't like to smash things apart and just make a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I like to at least have some gain out of it.
Yeah.
You know? Man, my voice is a little bit hoarse.
Oh.
Oh, I
from
feel like
staying
because
out in the
Ben was
garage
talking
for
so much,
6
I haven't been doing enough talking, so
Oh.
I don't have a powerful voice right now.
Yeah.
I'm also not like used to being leaned back like this in this chair while I talk for my pod. I'm used to being kind of more up here.
Oh.
I maybe should have grabbed the old leather chairs, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are-
So, God. The Israel-Palestine war. I still feel like I understand zero about this thing. Like, for God's sakes. Like what Ben he called it an open-air prison or whatever. But like, and my joke on his pod was, and I don't know, actually I think this jokes were, I made this joke in the first episode, but this is in the next episode. By the way, episode 71, he just has the audio for his Patreon, but I have the video, and he hasn't asked me for it yet. So episode 71 will have video and audio of that episode. The way I refer to their building, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I built this joke off of listening to Gillis, and in his pod when they were joking about Israel-Palestine, his joke, and this is 5 minutes in, he goes, Matt goes, geez, you know, this Israel-Palestine thing, it's pretty rough. It's rough down there. I don't really know why they care about the area so much. And then Shane goes, I mean, like, could you just build better houses? Like, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it was very funny. But, like, their structures are garbage. They're just sand castles. And, I mean, that is part of the problem. I mean, if you have people living in that type of environment, they're not going to be good. You know? And sorry to use such broad terms like the person is not going to be good. The Palestinian and the Israelite are not going to be good. But it's just, I don't want to be specific because I'm not trying to like attack anyone here. It's just, I'm just talking about the general things about a person's environment is super important, you know? And like the other analogies I was trying to draw when I was talking to Ben about the whole thing is that it's a lot like Chile and Argentina, right? It's the same thing in the sense that Argentina has pushed Chile over to the border, essentially made it so their borders are like 100 kilometers from the shoreline. So basically nothing. But Chile's still there, and what infrastructure is there is basically, it's Argentina's. It's their infrastructure. Chile has to pay for it. And in turn, Chile is just a disaster of a country. They don't have money. They don't have a government. They don't have anything. But the people are happy because they're on the shoreline. They're fishing. They're happy. So, but it's still the same type of a situation. And in Chile, they don't need as good of infrastructure because it doesn't get that cold down there. And what else would make their infrastructure better? I guess there is a lot more vegetation down there. So they just got more wood and things like that to do stuff. But in Palestine, I'm going to call it Palestine in terms of the area, that whole area there around Jordan, like the whole area that they're fighting over. I'll just call it Palestine because it's ancient Palestine, but Israel is there. So it's the same thing. And as far as Ben made me understand, it's basically Israel is like Argentina in the sense that they built all the buildings, they've done all the plumbing, they've done all the electricity. So for Palestinians to live there, they have to pay money to Israelites, to the Israel people who run the area, even though they don't occupy the area that much. So, and that will naturally create animosity, just like what that's what you see in South America too. But nobody really cares about the animosity in South America. We're just like, oh, those crazy people down there. We don't seem to care as much. You got to be closer to the equator or north for for everybody to care about you. So, but anyway, I mean, so you have a conflict there over an area that is unlivable anyway. So it feels like, and this is what I kept telling Ben too, is that it does just feel a little false flaggy. Like it feels like it's a little bit of a distraction. Like, especially from the Ukraine-Russia thing. It's like they're just, that is kind of done with. And I mean, they're trying to, because it's just, we're sending them all this money because we have to be loyal to Ukraine. We have to. They're part of NATO. So the media is trying, I think, to push the narrative away from that so that the politicians don't have to cater to it. Because the politicians will cater to the media because they need to cater to the votes, and the media is what feeds that to the people. So it's just, it's a domino effect if they keep talking about Ukraine. So they need to stop talking about Ukraine so that the tax money is fucking stays over here. Because that is really a lot sometimes of what I think of what the West is. As we've talked about this before, but like in terms of the global relationships, it's like the West is like the sister, sort of. And the middle, the center of the world is kind of neutral-ish, but starting to get more masculine. And as you go right, and it just becomes more like the brother, or the dad, or whatever you want to call it. The dad and the mom are in the middle, and then the brother and sister are on the far sides. If you're imagining like a standard map of the world, Australia would definitely qualify as a brother. I mean, they have fucking like little bugs that can kill you. So anyway, because that's a brother, right? Like a brother can kill you with like poke you in the throat.
No, wait, I just thought of the nasty bugs. Like, here, check this out.
Yeah.
And then bring it closer to you.
Yeah. So in conclusion, I do feel the Israel-Palestine is, and this is not to put any damper on all of their outrage and stuff, but in terms of a neutral take on all this stuff, if you want a British take on all this stuff, it is an area you shouldn't be worried about anyway. It has biblical significance, I get that, but let go of that. Let go of that. It's just a bunch of sand castles anyway. So, and the reality is that there has not been, as much as they want to hold, as much as they want to, have people running through the streets holding their burnt babies or whatever, at the end of the day, the casualties aren't that high. We're talking about 1,000 people on one side, 3,000 people on the other side. That's what they're saying. Double it, triple it, it's still not that much casualties. So it feels a little false flag, and just forget about, like, honestly, the whole media it feels like it has seasonal depression sometimes. Like, where right as winter's coming, they start talking about wars. Winter's done, they start talking about prosperity. It's just like, because the people that are in those industries, the people that are in media, are usually very emotional. It's an industry, first off, that's dominated by women, but the men that are in it are usually feminine types of women, or because you have to, honestly, to understand aesthetic and messaging to that level, I think you have to have a real feminine brain, because I don't think the masculine brain can comprehend it so much, like marketing. And that's actually, honestly, one of the biggest themes from Mad Men, which is a 9-season series about marketing in the 80s. Oh. But yeah, I mean, it's a feminine industry, dominated. So, yeah, just the idea of making stuff look good and things. That's a feminine intuition. So anyway, I mean, shit. We're probably getting close to an episode here, but. Yeah. Let's try to put a few ribbons on this. I mean, it's sad. I feel bad for everybody. It's just ultimately it is just, it really, and this, like, we're just going to go comedy here for a little bit, people. Like, just don't get offended. But the reality is really these are just a bunch of people who are disagreeing over and there's a can rolling in the wind. I don't think the mics will pick that up. It really is just a fucking disagreement about whether Jesus was brown or white. Like, holy shit, that wind is mean. Oh, we're losing some insulation. It is, we might have like a little, that feels like 50, 60 kilometer an hour winds out there. That's approaching tornado territory.
Really?
Yeah. Jeez, that's windy.
Do you have insurance for tornadoes in this
garage?
garage?
It wouldn't do anything. I'd lose a couple shingles. I'll go get them. I'll go grab them and put them back.
No, I meant like, is the garage insured? Is the podcast studio
Oh, we're
insured?
all insured. Yeah. We're good. We're
Tornado
insured.
Coverage?
Yeah, but the thing is honestly, when you have a $2,500 deductible, it has to destroy your whole roof, or it's not even worth it to make a claim, you know?
Yeah.
Like house insurance. So, anyway, sorry, let me put a bow on this important. I was going to actually go comedy with it.
Okay.
Is that really, it's just a fucking disagreement over whether Jesus was white or brown and who has rights to the region. Like, who cares? Honestly, like if it's an open air prison anyway, that means you shouldn't want to live there. So why do you want me to care? Go away from there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got all these beautiful people coming over to the west. Pretty much come over to the west and keep coming by our expensive houses, please. Keep pushing our real estate up, because there is really nowhere else good to live right now. Like all those old ancient places, like where the Bible took place. I mean, look at them. Like I said, a bunch of sandcastles getting blown around in the wind and rockets shooting everywhere, and so yeah, I'm sorry about your wars, and but that's all you're not gonna hear me talk about it again, because honestly, I'm on to the next thing now, because I think that those types of racial-based wars are not something that should be promoted. Ultimately, too, yeah, like I said, the only reason you're even hearing about it is because it's Jewish people involved. If 1,000 whites died somewhere else, like honestly, Chileans are basically whites. They're like South Americans who are very pale-skinned. Like they're basically whites, and 1,000 of them can die, and you don't even hear about it. You know, so it's because they don't own NBC. NBC is the Asian one. So Jews don't own NBC, but they own ABC, you know, or whatever, all the other ones. So, all right. Yeah, the hockey season has started. I'm going to be commentating, hopefully, for the university team here in my city. What else?
Hockey's already started?
Hockey has started. Yeah, hockey starts sort of late October, November. Yeah, it started about 3 weeks ago, sort of. So, like, we're like 2 or 3 games into the season. But I haven't gotten any invites yet for any subbing. I'm a little sad. I want to get on the ice. God.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks is that usually it's not good for outdoor rinks until like a month from now, December 15th, early December, because I'm going to be hitting the outdoor rink hard this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's keep it short and sweet. That's probably an episode, unless something else comes to mind here. Oh, my God. This may have happened 2 months ago. I don't know how bad our media is up here in the Arctic, like where we fucking live in the tundra. But it just came across my understanding of this video of Fowler and another guy there. They were walking up to the first tee for a golf tournament, a pretty big golf tournament. And a crazy protester fan went running up onto the first tee box. Bert Kreischer was there for some reason. Oh. And he fucking runs, and he doesn't tackle. It was a short, like, South American Asian woman. I didn't see what her ethnicity was for sure, but that's what she was. And he kind of just like bear hugged her and just, hey, and he's like, hey, where are you going? Like, he said, hey, where are you going? Something like that. And he didn't say, hey, stop right there, but he said, hey, where are you going? Just fucking bear hugged her, pulled her off. That's pretty heroic.
Yeah.
Amazing though. You know, as a famous guy, that's like the opposite of his job. He could look to his left and right and see 6 people on either side of him whose job that was to do that. Mm-hmm. And they weren't, and he did it. Aww. You know, unless it was a stunt or something. I'm not putting it past him. Listen. I want to get real about the big boys for a second here. I'm gonna get real about the big boys. Bert Kreischer, okay? His dad is a lawyer. Mm-hmm. He's been a lawyer for 40 or 50 years. He was a lawyer who was involved in defending Scientology against the American government when they won to establish Scientology as a religion. No way. So his dad is essentially a lawyer of the highest standing that could ever exist in the world, being involved in that type of thing. Because let's be real here. Religion is, I mean, it's larceny, but like it's legal. It's larceny that is disguised in morality, but it does provide good. But ultimately, it's a weird entity. It's like a weird entity. It's like a fucking platypus or something with all its different functionalities that it has built into it. Right now, Scientology controls the movie industry. You do not see movies that go to major theaters like Galaxy like Cineplex Odeon, that don't have the budgets, that aren't supported by Scientology or Mormonism.
Yeah.
Those are the only movies that you see now that are movies that are made by Tom Cruise or somehow associated with Scientology in some creepy
Yeah.
way.
Wow.
So my point is that the amount of influence that these religions, and therefore these lawyers which have power over these religions, the amount of power they have over the messages that are being sent to people like us, regular people, is incredible. So I would not put it past him for him and his family to have some connections at a golf tournament where they could be like, hey, let's do a little publicity stunt. Bert Kreischer runs out and just kind of hugs a girl and let's make a clip out of it. But based on how bad the video was of it, it makes me feel like it's not fake.
Oh.
Because it was a bad video. Shitty video. It was like
What was she protesting?
I didn't see or hear. That's part of why it was such a shitty video. It was literally like the part where you see Bert run and grab her and the video stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2 seconds. It's like 2 seconds. So anyway, there's a little information about that, It's pretty interesting. Imagine if your dad, or imagine if somebody you knew even, but if your literal father beat the American government, not just the American government, but the American government financial lawyers in court.
Yeah.
That is power and intellect on another level.
I'd feel like I would get
Could
away
do
with
anything.
murder. Yeah, I would
You could
come
feel like
home
you could do
and be
anything.
like, hey, Dad, I
Yep.
got a speeding ticket.
Yep.
Take care of
Yep.
this.
You know what you'd feel like? You'd feel like you could go on video and be Bert Kreischer and be a comedian, go on stage and trash everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like what he used to do before he sort of reined it in. That's what he did because he wasn't afraid of anything.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well,
there you go. That's it. That's a podcast episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to thanks to you. Thanks to the listener. I hope to see you for the next episode. It'll be me and Ben talking again. Please subscribe to the YouTube. We are at 120 now, and a few days ago we were at 100. But keep it going. We need to get to 500, so then I could start making a little money off of this. And then I wouldn't have drywall behind me so that's sitting loosely. I would potentially have a little bit of money.
new merch coming out.
New merch coming out. I'm going to be posting pictures and things on the stories, and I'll actually probably post a picture right here on the pod after this. You'll see it pop up. We got shirts. We got flex fit, good quality hats, better than the old shitty hats. And yeah, if you want to grab those, I mean, they're a little expensive. Like a hat's going to be like $40 and a shirt's going to be like $35, $40. It's because I am paying so much to get them made, okay? Sorry, but it is what it is. They're high quality. All right, that's Canadian Talk episode 70 out.
Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. We also have a website, Stephanjackson.ca, where you can find a back catalog of all our episodes, and we're also on YouTube, where you can find the video versions.